Today, we will be diving in to the tragic story of a former Arizona Wildcat, Portland Trailblazer, and Memphis Grizzly that ended up committing murder in Las Vegas, Nevada, just a day before a Summer League game.
Chance Comanche, returning sophomore forward from Los Angeles.
Chance Kyler Comanche, born April 14, 1996, is an American former professional basketball player. Standing at 6'10", he was a very tall power forward/center. He played college basketball for the Arizona Wildcats and played in one game for the Portland Trailblazers in the National Basketball Association. He attended View Park Preparatory High School before graduating from Beverly Hills High School in 2015. He averaged 20 points, 16 rebounds, and 4 blocks per game as a senior en route to a Southern Section 3A state title. In his 2 years at the University of Arizona, 2015-2017, Comanche saw the court in 60 games, producing averages of 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist per contest. On April 8th, 2017, he declared for the 2017 NBA draft, and on May 5th, 2017, announced his decision to forego the remaining 2 years of his college eligibility. However, he was not selected by any team. Comanche's draft stock wasn't as high as he had hoped. He went undrafted, but received an opportunity to prove himself in the NBA Summer League. He joined the Golden State Warriors Summer League team, where he showcased his skills and earned a training camp invitation. Although Comanche impressed during training camp, he was ultimately waived by the Warriors before the start of the regular season. Undeterred, he joined the Santa Cruz Warriors, Golden State's G League affiliate, where he continued to refine his game and work on his dreams of being an NBA player. Comanche's time in the G League was a mix of highs and lows. He showed flashes of his talent, putting up solid numbers and earning a call-up to the Memphis Grizzlies in 2018. However, his NBA stint was short-lived, and he once again found himself back in the G League. Over the next few years, Comanche bounced around various G League teams, including the Stockton Kings and the Agua Caliente Clippers. While he continued to display his skills and potential, he struggled to find a long-term opportunity in the NBA. Outside of basketball, in early 2022, Comanche would start dating Mirena Rogers, who was a 23-year-old medical assistant from Linwood, California. However, that relationship, for whatever reason, would not last very long, as Comanche would go on to break up with Rogers and start dating her friend, Sakari Harnden. Now, by 2023, Harnden and Comanche had been dating for almost a year themselves. But there were rumors going around. There was gossip between Rogers and Harnden. Apparently, Rogers was stating that Sakari Harnden had been snitching on her ex-boyfriend, who was arrested for double murder in California. And on December 6th, 2023, Mirena Rogers would go missing.
A woman is missing, and now her friend is in jail.
We've been speaking with family members and friends all day as there is an effort to find her. Here's what we've learned.
This is Mirena Rogers, a 23-year-old visiting Las Vegas with friends from the Seattle area. In the early morning hours of December 6th, loved ones say she vanished. Now 19-year-old Sakari Harnden is in the downtown Las Vegas jail with a $500,000 bond facing a kidnapping charge. Las Vegas Justice Court records note prosecutors provided clear and convincing evidence. Harnden needs monetary bail to make sure she returns to court and to ensure the community's safety. Also noted, prosecutors should notify the court immediately if Rogers is located alive. Harnden is believed to be the last person seen with Rogers. The 8 News Now investigators obtained this criminal complaint, which states on December 6th, Harnden held or detained Rogers against her will for the purpose of killing her or inflicting substantial bodily harm. Friends say they believe Rogers had gotten into a car with Harnden the night of her disappearance. So far, no confirmation from police. Harnden also faces a theft charge after police say she stole a Rolex. Rogers' family and friends are trying to get the word out about her disappearance on social media.
It turns out Sakari Harnden and Mariana Rogers were both workers. And not only had Mariana Rogers said that Sakari Harnden had been snitching, quote unquote, but they also got into it over a Rolex watch. And Sakari Harnden was so upset about this watch that she had threatened Rogers to quote unquote smoke her. Text messages were later found between Comanche, Sakari Harnden, and a third unnamed man. Quote, "I can snap her neck or just strangle the Comanche allegedly wrote in a group message among Harden and a third man who had contact with someone who could get Rogers, quote, chipped. Quote, "If you get a nice little thick piece of rope or something sturdy, I can do it from the back seat, like how the killers do it in the movies." On December 4th, Comanche had checked into the M Resort and Casino in Henderson, Nevada, with the Kings as they were playing the game the next night at the Dollar Loan Center. Following the Kings game, Comanche made his way back to his hotel with the team, before he went back outside and got into Harden's car and they drove to meet Rogers. After purchasing alcohol, the trio drove to a cul-de-sac near the former house of Comanche's friend, where they had originally planned to commit the murder. Harden had explained to Rogers that Comanche was the trick, or a prostitute client, and was going to pay them for their services, with Sakari explaining Comanche was into kinky and wanted to tie them both up before having. Rogers agreed and began removing her clothes. Harden, removing her clothing, climbed over the center console and straddled Rogers' lap. The police records read, before adding Comanche had grabbed a bag of plastic Ziploc ties that were already in the car and handed two to Sakari. Rogers willingly had her wrists tied together before Comanche wrapped a cord around her neck, while Harden, still straddling Rogers, placed her hands on the defenseless woman's neck as well. Comanche told police he used an HDMI cord to choke Rogers for 10 seconds and stopped when he heard his victim struggling to breathe, but Harden continued. Rogers then became unresponsive. Comanche and Harden checked her pulse and determined she was dead when they saw fluid coming out of her mouth. The deadly pair pulled over to the side of the road in Henderson and dumped Rogers' body into a ditch before covering the body with rocks. Comanche confessed to the police that he used a towel to pick up the rocks to avoid getting his DNA on them. The accused killers smashed Rogers' phone and drove back to the team hotel, where they stayed until Comanche left with the team around 8:50 a.m. Comanche and Harden remained in contact after the murder, with police believing the former king was coaching Harden through how to talk to law enforcement. Calmly answer them, quote, "They only know what you tell them," unquote. Comanche said at 10:30 a.m. on December 6th, quote, "You got this, boo. This is the post-game interview. Just smile and wave," unquote. Comanche played in another game with the Kings in Portland on December 7th, a day after the killing. Detectives found Rogers' body in the ditch on December 15th after Comanche pointed to the location on a map during his interview. Harden was arrested on December 13th and charged with felony first-degree kidnapping and felony theft for allegedly stealing a Rolex valued at between $5,000 and $25,000 according to court records. FBI agents and the Sacramento County Police arrested Comanche on a first-degree kidnapping charge on December 15th. A criminal complaint was filed in the Las Vegas court charging both Comanche and Harden with open murder and conspiracy to commit murder, both felonies.
You're willing to give up that 15-day period for your preliminary hearing. You're not waiving or giving up your preliminary hearing completely. You're just waiving or giving up the preliminary hearing within 15 days. I want to make sure you understand and agree with that. Okay.
Jail records show Chance Comanche was booked into Clark County Detention Center on Sunday, December 31st, and is being held without bail. He attended an initial appearance Tuesday morning in Las Vegas Justice Court, where Judge Diana Sullivan scheduled his preliminary hearing for February 8th. We'll have to follow along and see what happens, as we're nearing the end of February now. I'm really interested in this case, and it seems like Chance Comanche has been working with the prosecutors, probably hoping to avoid either a life sentence